Probably one of the most unheard of and forgotten vessels that sank on the tragic November 1913 storm on Lake Superior, the SS Leafield. The SS Leafield was completed in 1892. She was built by the Strand Stepway Company of Sunderland, England. She had a gross registered tonnage of 1,450 tons, a length of 248 feet, a beam of 35 feet and 6 inches, a height of 16 feet, and a depth of 16 feet. On the night of August 17, 1912, the SS Leafield was carrying a shipment of iron ore to Midland, Ontario, Canada, when she suddenly ran aground on a rocky islet near the Georgian Bay, near Oslide Island, Ontario. This incident and collision tore a hole 140 feet long and 15 feet wide in her bottom. The salvage repairs and cost for this were $15,000, and the ship was out of service for 2 months. After about a year later after the Leafield was launched, the Leafield was one of the 3 ships purchased by the Algoma Steel Ship Corporation to haul anything from grain, coal, to iron ore, and railroad rails for the company across Lake Superior. This was also from the Sioux and Midland. The SS Leafield's small size compared to other lake freighters and ships, like her sister ships, was considered, however, a sturdy vessel, and not something to bat an eye at. These ships were well-decked freighters who could sail the coast or to any open waters. Also compared to her sister ships, the Leafield's size was determined by the dimensions of the locks that allowed her to navigate through the canals from the St. Lawrence River into the Great Lakes. Previously, when stated, the Leafield had tore a hole after running aground, causing a 140-foot hole to be torn on her bottom and costing over $15,000 to repair, there was no whole dry dock that could make money for the company, although most of the mariners blamed the Leafield's misfortune on the wheelsman and captain, who were apparently improperly navigating the waters with these dangerous shoals around. At that time, the Leafield was captained by Captain McKintry, and he was in charge. When the accident occurred, he was assigned blame and transferred to another vessel. With Captain McKintry gone, the command of the Leafield fell to Captain Charles Baker, who, on the night of November 8, 1913, had to make a very hard decision to wait out the storm's fury on Lake Superior during these blizzardous conditions and raging seas, which were exhausting his sailors and posing a risk to the whole crew and cargo, or make a chance to try and squeeze in the final run into the safety of Port Arthur, now named Thunder Bay. It was definitely a very hard dilemma that Captain Baker faced with this decision to make: wait out the storm or try and make it to the safety of Thunder Bay. Each was fraught with high risk and high reward. However, in the end, Captain Baker decided to make a run for it and try and make the safety of Thunder Bay. There is some debate whether he tried to deliberately ram his ship and aground into the rocks of Angus Island, where her crew might have found shelter on shore. However, this is impossible to know because Baker and all the Leafield's crew were lost and went down with her. The ship smashed on the jagged rocks in the roaring blizzard of 1913 on November. After the disappearance of the SS Leafield, on the following day, the passenger ship Huronic, crippled in the storm earlier that night, when the pilot house was torn off of her, reported it had seen the Leafield on Angus Island's rocks. The steamer Franz's second mate, Fred Begley, said that his vessel had also followed the Leafield through the gale and blizzard, but eventually lost sight of her due to the stormy conditions. He asked port authorities if the Leafield had made it into port and was informed that she was missing. Coincidentally, Captain McKintry, who had previously commanded her for the season before, was in Fort William when a shaft of broken mast was brought to him in the hopes that he could identify it if it was from the Leafield or not. According to Michael Schumacher in November's Fury, Captain McKintry's response was, "I can definitely state that this is not part of the SS Leafield. Since the sinking and disappearance of the SS Leafield, there has been no wreckage ever found of the Leafield, and the only body that has ever been found was her captain's. It is, however, believed that she was lost in 155 fathoms of water. It is widely speculated and agreed upon by mariners that the SS Leafield ran aground and shattered and smashed against the rocks of Angus Island, and she and her crew were pulled out to sea, where she eventually sank and met her end." The story of the SS Leafield is one of the most unheard of and unknown losses of the Great Storm of 1913, and to this day it has not been found. Again, all 18 of her crew were lost, and the captain's body was the only body to be recovered and found. With that, we come to the end of this story of the SS Leafield. When I learned about this ship and how completely unforgotten it was, especially in the 1913 storm, or learning and doing my research online, even people online are just so surprised at how just mysterious this ship, for lack of any better understanding your term, has been unheard of. And I mean, it's no less important than all the other, I think it was 12 vessels and all together that sank, if I'm correct, on the Great Lakes during that storm. But yeah, my heart really went out to this ship, because I don't for one second believe it deserves to be forgotten, or the 18 crew members that died and went down with her, aside from the captain's body, I guess, was found. So I couldn't find anything more on that. But yeah, this ship deserves its mention. It deserves its praise and honor, and the sacrifice for the men that went down with her and served on her. And I hope, again, as I say in every video, I hope some respect and honor due to the families and friends of these losses that come up time and again. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. This one was definitely obscure, but definitely, I hope with my channel will no longer be obscure. Not praising myself. I hope that this story does become more well known through this little short episode, even though it reaches the surface. But yeah, that will be it for this video, guys, and thank you again for joining me on another episode of Songs of the Great Lakes. This was a good one. They all are good, but this one was really good, and keep your eyes open for the next one to come soon. God bless you all.